Hello and welcome to a new series of videos at backpackinglight.co.uk. I've decided to move into a salubrious new studio to do this. Do you like the view? It's fantastic. And today we're going to be talking about a new stove. A stove that's been designed by us here at Backpacking Light, called the Honey Stove. It is the first, as far as we know it, multi-fuel, multi-stove, multi-pot cooker. And hopefully this video will explain some ideas about how the design came about, what you can do with it, and give you some ideas of how you can use it yourself. And that's it. It's just that. It weighs less than a gas canister, 350 grams, and it consists of 9 pieces of very thin stainless steel, as so. And you can see that it is primarily a hexagonal shape. Now before we start, let me give you some background on to what the objectives were with this design and how it all actually came about. First of all, I wanted to make a cooker that would be a wood burning stove, but also combine a lot of the benefits of other types of burning material, such as meths or esbit hexamine tablets, and so on. I also wanted then to balance it so that it could be used with any type of pot, and certainly in the UK we have got a massive range of pots. Let me give you an example. We have the good old-fashioned billy can there, which Boy Scouts love. We have the Army Crusader cup, which obviously is much more military based. We have another military one here, which is a very odd shaped lozenge thing. Then in the middle of all that we have the Vargo pots. We have a big 1100ml pot there, we've got a smaller one there, we've got the Snow Peak there, got a little mug there, and we've got another sort of Crusader cup there, to name but a few. There's a Primus pot. There's an MSR pot, there's something else, and on top of that you've got a kettle as well. So wouldn't it be nice to have a cooker which actually mixed the ability of being able to use any of these pots to make your brew or whatever it might be, along with any type of stove. So what type of stoves do I mean? I mean these type of things. In combination with obviously burning organic matter, wood and that sort of thing, really, wouldn't it be nice to be able to mix it all together? So that was the parameter I actually started from. I wanted a conduit, if you like, that would link all these stoves together and also give you the ability to have a wood burning stove as well. Okay, so first of all I'm going to do is set it up as a wood burning stove with an additional grill to support a pot which is smaller than the diameter of the hexagon. Now these are the side panels, and that's the fire door there. Obviously got a hole in it to put the fuel in. The first thing you do is put it, the first piece, notice the prongs going downwards. So you start with the prongs going downwards, and then either side of that you slot a piece in, which is then going upwards. Obviously I'm working upside down to you watching this. I'll try and turn it round. So that's the start of it. Now we put in the base plate. You'll see that one side there has got no tab on it, and that is the actual front. So the back of it is obviously this one, and that goes into that slot there and into those two slots there like that. So that's the base plate in. Now I'm going to put a top grill in. Let's have that grill. There's no particular reason for either grill. They'll both support the pot I've got in mind, and slot that one in place there as such. Okay, so let's get this in the right place. Then we then put on the other two remaining sides. So with the other two sides on there like that, then the last piece is the fire door. The fire door slots into place there and goes in there, and there's a nice tight snug fit like that. And then that is, that's your stove. I think you can start to see the possibility there. It's a nice, stable, not going to fall apart stove. You obviously put the fuel in through here. There is a formula, an airflow formula, that allows for maximum amount of air through the side holes, vents that comes up through the base there, so that it allows your fuel to burn efficiently. Too much air and it will exhaust your fuel straight away. Not enough air and it will just smoulder. Of course, when you're using it as a wood burning stove, you have a supplied ashtray as well, and that sits on top like that, and that will capture any ash and also protect the ground. Take that out of the way for a second. Now let's change it round and make that into a cooker for a trangia burner. And there you have, configured as a trangia burner. So your trangia can burn quite nicely and you can put any size pot in there. Now of course the quick-witted amongst you will suddenly say, how do you get the fuel inside the trangia? Very simple. Put your hand underneath the pot, push the trangia to the top, pour the fuel in through the hole, drop the trangia back down, and away you jolly well cocoa. So there you have it with a trangia burner. Now without trying to go through all the different cookers that I've got here, you can, I hope, start to see the possibilities. So if you were using esbit tablets or nightlight candles, you'd put this grill in the middle section here where that middle slot is. And as I say, you may or may not need the upper grill, but if you do, it's there. If not, you just leave it out and carry on as you would do. And I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of what the honey stove's like. Right, now let's take it outside and set fire to it. Well, we ventured into the great outdoors. We have the honey stove ready to rock and roll here. We're complete with the ashtray, of course, to catch the ash and protect the ground. We have 2 handfuls, good fistfuls of wood there, which should be enough. Some hammer paper, which is the lazy man's way of starting a fire, which is my way of doing it. A stopwatch to count the time, see how long it takes. A flint and steel, and 500 ml or a pint of water in a Vargo Tea Light titanium mug. It's an autumnal day. The water's come out the cold tap, so that gives you an idea of what we're working with. And we're going to put it all together and see if we can get it boiling and how long it takes. Right, so the way I use the hammer paper is to take a piece about that size, rip it in half, put half of it in there, and then use this as a match. Obviously the ground's wet, so we don't want to struggle lighting it. And I just feather the edge of the end of the paper a bit, just so that the flint can hopefully catch it and get it going rapidly. Almost, there you go. And then I just poke that in there, light the other paper with it, which in turns is my tinder, gets the ball rolling fairly rapidly with the sticks that are in there. So I'll just get that going and then pop the pot on, pop that on there, start the stopwatch, and just leave that there for a minute, and then we'll just feed the fire and see how long it takes to get it boiling. As you can see, I haven't overfilled the fire here. It's not rammed full of fuel. You notice I've probably only used sort of pieces about that size, no real thicker than a pencil. I mean, I've come across 1 or 2 dried pieces that size, which actually take a while to get burning, which is part of the reason why we don't sort of recommend anything as big as that or too big. But I mean, in this particular case, I will throw that on. You rejoin us at the very exciting 5 minutes and 44 seconds. The water is about to burst into boiling, and to give you an idea, that's the amount of fuel I've got left over from that original pile, and that's no word of a lie. So you can see exactly how well that has performed. Is that pointing in the right direction? It is indeed. There you go. Boiling water. Stopwatch. See the stopwatch? Stopwatch, can you see it there? It says 6 minutes 23. There you go. 7 minutes. You can see that on the stopwatch now. Give you an idea. 7 minutes. Take the lid off. Yep, indeedy, that is boiling. Well, I think you can see there. There's not that much ash that's going to be left from that. Another reason for not putting too much fuel in and well, wasting heat really and wasting fuel. And the time for the whole exercise, if I can just angle that right, is what, 10 minutes. There you go, still counting away. So 10 minutes from starting it to boiling the water and almost having a fire there to let calm down, and then obviously dispose of sensibly in a leave no trace basis. And that is the honey stove, and I'm off to find a tea bag.